Okay, we got done seeing 13 Hours, the new Michael Bay film, and this is definitely better than the last two Michael Bay films, without doubt. The last two being Ninja Turtles and Transformers 4, so we can safely say this is one of the better Michael Bay films. So what did you think, Austin?
I thought it was really good.
Yeah? That's good. What did you think, Jason?
I think it was more mature than I expected from a Michael Bay film.
For sure. I thought it was decent. I thought it was a decent film, especially for a January film. I will give it that. It was. I thought it was all right. There's a lot of good things I can say about the film. I think, the acting was really good. What did you guys think of John Krasinski as the lead?
I was impressed.
I thought he was really good.
I thought he was.
I didn't know he could do that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan of The Office, so I was really excited to see him break out in drama, and I thought he was great in the role. And it's funny to see also Roy from The Office, isn't it? If you follow The Office and how those characters are, it's very funny to see that completely different in 13 Hours. But yeah, Krasinski and everyone else was really, really good. For a pretty long film, it doesn't feel that long for the most part. I thought it was decently paced, and
I didn't feel the 2.5 hours as much as other films.
Yeah, that was all right. And the action scenes are good too. I'll give one more compliment. And I don't know much about the actual incident, but you, Austin, do. So you can compliment the film in that all in all, it was pretty accurate based on the common knowledge.
Yeah, the amount of people who died, and how they died was all correct, which I think with an event, when you're doing a movie about a historical event, and
especially a recent one.
Something that happened literally 3 years ago,
yeah,
that's very important.
Yes, and I know it's not the exact same thing, but we can safely say this is a more honorable adaptation than Pearl Harbor.
Yeah,
and it's also just a much better film.
I just think it's hilarious. Like, this movie is, for the most part, and I feel not political. Like, it doesn't get into the political side of it or anything like that.
For the most part, I'll get to that in a minute.
But just the timing of this has got to be bad for Hillary.
Yes.
She is probably very, very angry about the timing of this movie.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I didn't like about this film, and I don't know much about, I don't know much about the incident, so I don't know much about the actual people that this movie's based on, but it is a little politically one-sided in portraying, like, the CIA, because the guy that's like in charge of the whole operation is this. They portray him as this pudgy,
pompous,
cowardly, pompous. Oh, I don't approve of you military guys, and it's like Michael Bay is going out of his way to make you hate this guy, and basically they're also kind of portraying it like this is all his fault in a way. Like, if only he let John Krasinski and the team do their job, the ambassador would have survived, all this stuff. Like, they really just put it, and then when it's all over, he's like, oh, I'm not leaving, I have more,
Yeah, that was pathetic.
It's just like, again, I don't, look, maybe that's what, whoever this was based on.
That's not what happened.
I'm guessing not.
That's not what happened.
It just felt so Hollywood manipulative, and that deserves criticism.
I gotta say, though, if you're a Michael Bay fan, just keep in mind when you're going into this, like, this is a brutal war film. Like, this is not like dumb fun action like his other films. I mean, he has a lot of explosions and stuff like that, but this is like brutally realistic. I mean,
yeah, which it should be.
No, it should be.
It should be.
No, I'm just saying it's not like his other films. It's very different.
For the most part.
Being mature.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about it was, if I was, I remember my first Michael Bay film was the first Transformers, and I went in there, and when they said Air Force, I was jumping up and down. If I was a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, whatever the hell, watching this movie, I would probably be horrified and probably stay awake most of the night. It is not a pleasant film, to be honest. I mean, in that regard.
As it should, as it should be.
So I think it did a good job.
One thing that it does have from other Michael Bay films that I don't like is it has the cinematography style of like The Rock and Bad Boys,
insane.
which I like. I like The Rock and I like Bad Boys, but in the sense that yeah, it's the camera work is it's not so much shaky cam, it's just schizophrenic.
I know,
It's
and
like
there's lots of time. There's lots of times
cut.
where it's like really slow, and then it's really fast. Like there's this one part where something happens, and all of a sudden it's like, and 5 weeks
Yeah.
later, and then boom, and then it's
the,
like, oh, okay.
the editing is a little out of control, and the jump cuts are just out of control. And it made me think, like, everyone kind of jokes about the excessive slow-mo in the Transformers films. I was like, gosh, I kind of want that over this right now. And it's funny because the few times where they actually do like the excessive slow-mo, it's actually some of the better camera work in the film. Like when when that one guy ends up dying at the end.
It's not a spoiler if it actually.
Well, I
happened.
know, but anyways, like, but anyways, yeah, when one of the main characters ends up dying towards the end.
I gotta say, I think my favorite camera shot of the movie, I know it was CGI'd, but when it was following the mortar shell in,
That was really good.
I thought I really liked that.
That
was
kind of
really cool.
reminded me of the napalm scene in We Were Soldiers.
Mm.
Kind of in a good way. That
Yep.
reminded me of that. Yeah, this was all in all pretty good. Definitely.
It's, you know what? I think it does justice to the actual
Sure.
event. So I think every American should go see this just so they know about what happened.
Sure, it wouldn't be a bad history lesson, so to speak. But with its lengthy time, some of its Michael Bayisms and such, and let's be honest, the cliche dialogue, a lot of the dialogue was very cliche.
He can do action to a T. Like, he is so good at action
He
scenes,
can
in
be.
my opinion.
He can be
But-
good.
His characters and his dialogue and his editing, ugh.
So my point just being is that with all of those things in mind, to me, this movie's a one and done. I wouldn't really care to see it again. There are war films like I could watch Lone Survivor multiple times for so many reasons. This just isn't the kind of movie that I would care to see over and over again. But would I say it's worth watching once? Sure. I'd say it's worth checking out. And you guys probably agree it's worth checking out?
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think it's a one and done for a slightly different reason. It's because I paid a lot of attention to what was going on at this time. So it in my opinion, it'd be like watching a movie about 9/11. 3 years after that. I wouldn't want to see that movie twice.
Sure, yeah,
So-
that's a good point. Yeah, that is a good point.
So depending on how much you paid attention in 2012 will determine how many times you want to see this movie, in my opinion. I suppose.
I get what you
How
mean.
much you know about the actual event going into it. Well, that's kind of like, I only need to see it once because I already know almost everything about the event, and so I could see
Yeah.
it, and I'm like, oh, they did a good job.
That's
And-
why I didn't really want to see. There was a movie that came out a couple years ago that was loosely based on Jonestown, and it was actually a pretty well done film. But I was like, it's Jonestown. Like, I don't need to it's like I know
I've
everything's
seen so
gonna
many
happen.
documentaries on
Yeah,
that and
like
stuff,
I already know it's well acted and everything, but like I don't really need to see this multiple times. Okay, well, anyways, 13 hours, surprisingly decent.
I think better than a 56% on Rotten Tomatoes, but
think so?
that's
Yeah.
just my opinion. But
one of the better Michael Bay films.
I think you need to go see it.
So.
Yep.
All right.
Yep,
Thanks
go
for
see it.
listening.